Hey folks, how we doing today? It's me again, Shannon Fox here, Devoted Patriots 2 channel. And I got a couple things I wanted to tell you about what's really going on in the news cycle today. First of all, Mitch McConnell looks like he has had an episode, some kind of a stroke or something. Uh, I don't really have any opinion about it other than we should pray for the man, whether you like the man or not. I don't agree with his politics at all, but at the same time, I don't wish anybody any ill will on anybody. And I prefer everybody to live a long, healthy life. And I'll just leave it at that. What I do want to say is there's a ton of things that happened today involving Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden actually had to go to court today over this two tax charges, misdemeanor tax charges, and the gun charge. He went for that judge, and she pulled a Judge Judy on him. She wanted to get to the bottom of it right from the beginning. It's a crazy story. Let me go ahead and start from the beginning. I had my first video I put out this morning. I guess about 4 o'clock this morning, 5 o'clock this morning. Was a video of Jesse Waters discussing breaking news at that time that it looks like Hunter's lawyer or somebody from Hunter's team called the judge and tried to get the judge to drop the amicus brief, which was the added information about the $10 million, the bribe money, and the other allegations from the whistleblowers against the Bidens. See, they were trying to keep all that information secret, and turns out the judge figured out who it was and had the phone number checked out. Sure enough, we believe at this point, from what the news is saying, it is confirmed. So when Hunter Biden's team showed up in the courtroom today, the judge already had a bad taste in her mouth about those characters, literally impersonating a Republican, trying to call things off as far as allowing more information to be looked at, while the defense and the prosecution have already agreed to some okey doke plea deal that is obviously they're both playing on the same team. When they got before that judge today, the judge seen exactly what was going on, and you have to go through something called, I believe it's called allocation, where basically when everything starts, the judge reads out what the complaints are, what the charges are, what the plea deal is offering, what everybody's agreeing to. She basically has to go through the protocol of laying out everything we know so far to the defendant, to Hunter Biden, so he basically gets read his rights in so many ways. And so in process of doing that, she comes to the part where she's asking about how uh, we can be doing a plea deal, agreeing to a plea deal when we find out that Hunter Biden is still under investigation, because they didn't want to answer the questions. So they start going, well, he's still under investigation, as their go-to thing. And she's like, how can you be under investigation and be signing off on a plea deal at the same time? She says, that's not logical. So that's when the crap started. And then she wanted to know a little bit more. And it comes to find out that the prosecution and the defense have corroborated an attempt to get Hunter Biden full immunity, past, present, and future, I guess on all criminality, including everything that him and his father allegedly did in those umpteen countries all over the world that we're starting to get receipts from. So she says, no, this is not working for me. She says, I'm not playing this rubber stamp game. Where basically y'all agree to what it is, and I've just got to agree to it as well. So she says, no, we're going to throw the case out. Y'all are going to have to come back in a month. We got no deal today, no plea deal today. Y'all got 30 days to get together and come up with a reasonable answer. Now, who knows how it's going to go over the next 30 days, because both of these folks are playing on the same team. But I think they're going to have to come back with stiffer charges or something, because the judge, probably due to Grassley's putting out Senator Grassley putting out this 1023 form to the public, things like that being public information, probably has got this judge kind of in a situation where she's like, I want to see everything. I need more proof of what's going on. I need to know more about the money. The plea deal is not going to go on as is. It's got to be revised, and that is great news. Hunter Biden's lawyer throws up, we're not going to plead guilty to this if we can't get full immunity on all these possible, all this possible criminality. So the judge says, no dice. Now let me go ahead and read you what the article says here on the Gateway Pundit, and then I'll play you a little clip from CNN. And if you stick around to the end, I've got the restrictions that the judge has put on Hunter Biden that he's got to do. Otherwise, he'll get a contempt of court and could be thrown in jail. He's got rules and regulations from this point forward. When he stepped out of the court today, he's got new rules. Hunter's on probation, in so many words, with his with being out on bail, bond, whatever it be. He's got to comply with certain things, and it's a great list. I love it. I love it. I like to see this man have to wiggle and squirm a little bit over some legality. Let me go ahead and read this for you. Got my goggles on. It says Judge Mary Ellen Norelka has rejected the sweetheart plea deal for Hunter Biden. The plea deal had covered Biden's tax issues from 2014 to 2019, drug use and gun charges that were to be pled down to 2 misdemeanors for tax charges and a diversion on the gun charge. She wanted to know, how can there be a gun charge if the gun charge is a misdemeanor, because there is no such thing as a misdemeanor gun charge, and how you can go about having a diversion involved in the gun charge that somehow give Hunter Biden all this legal immunity, or should I say illegal immunity. The judge left the doors open for a revised plea deal, asking for briefs from both sides of the issue she has with the deal, especially raising constitutional questions about her role as in adjudicating the gun charge diversion. The judge also questioned the tax charges plea, says it was just made her role a rubber stamp, leaving her no room for questions, whether question the deal or basically accept it. They basically decided for her in advance that they were going to go ahead and say, yep, we agree to these terms, just sign here, Judge. Judge started asking questions. As soon as she got the questions, they start cock blocking on the answers. He's under investigation. As soon as that happened, she says, well, alrighty, we've got already first couple of questions. We've got a conflict of interest as far as information. Tell me more. And the house of cards crashed and crumbled just like that. Now, let me go ahead and get down here, read you a little more, or actually, I'll go straight into the video. Because in the meantime, Biden entered a plea of not guilty to the charges after the deal was rejected and released by the judge with bunches of conditions. Let's go right down here.
Yeah, Boris, so the judge said that she could not accept the as it was structured. Remember, where Hunter Biden would plead guilty to 2 tax misdemeanors and then a diversion on a felony gun charge. Well, the judge taking issue with both of them, saying that on the plea agreement related to the tax charges, she was saying that this agreement as structured just had her, as what she said, a rubber stamp. It did not allow her to weigh in on whether she thought that the plea was acceptable. She had questions about that and wants both sides to brief her on that. Also on the gun diversion, she had questions about how that deal was structured because it inserted her in the process if Hunter Biden breached the terms of this agreement and the government had an issue with it. They wanted the judge to act as a neutral arbiter because they cited the political nature of this investigation and of who Hunter Biden is. So the judge saying she wasn't sure it was constitutional for her to have a role that could interfere with the Department of Justice, the executive branch's decision to bring a criminal case. So she said she wanted additional briefing on this. She told Hunter Biden, I am sorry. She said she knew he wanted to resolve this, but she said she wanted to make sure he got what he understood he was getting in terms of immunity under that plea agreement, and that the diversion agreement was constitutional. So both sides will be briefing on this issue, and the judge will then have them back in court again to resolve this matter. But as it stands right now, Hunter Biden entered a plea of not guilty because he said he would only plead guilty if this plea agreement was intact.
You see how they downplayed the crap out of the whole proceeding? I explained to you in the beginning of the video what happened, and she's got the same story, but she's got her own little spin on it. I guess you call it that CNN spin doctrine. But at any rate, folks, CNN is having to cover it. It's too big a story not to cover. It is on every station everywhere, and no matter what, it looks bad for the Bidens, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Now, let me go ahead and jump out of here, and I'm gonna show you the full list of all the things that Hunter Biden has got to comply with in order to stay out of jail from this point forward. It says after Hunter was only charged with 2 misdemeanors related to tax frauds, which will avoid prison time on the gun charge. According to the DOJ sweetheart deal, Hunter Biden would receive immunity from future charges. This is unprecedented. The judge was not having it. Prosecutors tried to quietly slip immunity into Hunter's plea deal, so it just blew up the deal. Hunter pleaded not guilty to the charges, and the case is ongoing. They have 30 days to figure it out. Delaware judge, a Trump appointee, set new conditions of release for Hunter Biden. If he does not comply with any part of the judge's order, he can be arrested. That's what I'm talking about. You know, occasionally, folks, you do find somebody in the justice system that is not corrupt as hell, and it's nice to see, like in the Kyle Rittenhouse case. We've had a few wins this year in legal battles, folks. A few here and there, including getting the 1023 forms and getting the information from Janet Yellen through court, through going through court proceedings. We've had a few wins this year, folks, as far as good judges. So don't think they're all bad, but there's definitely a bunch of bad ones amongst the bunch. Now, Hunter is required to, and there is 7 different requirements, and there are 4 possible penalties that will be included if the requirements are not handled upon properly. It says he is not to possess a firearm, not to use or possess any controlled substances, including marijuana, unless prescribed. Submit to a full federal supervision, meaning that they can come see him at any time, or he may have to report in. No alcohol. He must seek active employment. He's gonna have to actually get a job. I don't believe that. I believe he'll call his artwork a job, and he will have to submit to testing for prohibited substances. I mean, he got to pee in a cup, folks. You believe that? That would be awesome. They'll probably be having their doctor of choice, having him pee in the cup of their choice, fed into the machine of their choice. We know how that goes, folks. I don't believe that there'll be no accountability on that one unless the judge personally makes it so, which is a good possibility considering Biden's team of lawyers done pissed her off. It says, 7th one, he cannot participate in he must participate in substance abuse therapy. That is one of the conditions. It says penalties for violating could include immediate issuance of an arrest warrant, revocation of release, meaning he'd go to jail immediately for the charges, forfeiture of his bond, and prosecution for contempt of court. Whammy, folks. It's a good possibility that they may come back with maybe a couple of real charges for Hunter. They can't come back like they did on this one. Trying to throw that immunity in there, it's not going to work, folks. The deal gets worse from here. Mark my words. Hunter's deal gets worse from here on out for him. Because it has now been exposed that this is a okey doke deal where they try to just blow one over on the judge, and she was not having it. I'm glad to see it. That is great news, folks. Nothing better than seeing a righteous judge. Says the new conditions for the release of 400 Biden have just hit the docket, signed by Judge Noriega, who shelved Hunter's plea deal today. That is great, great news. All right, folks, that's all I really got for you today, what I wanted to bring to you anyway. I would say pray for Mitch McConnell, whether you like the man or not. Nobody should be having strokes. It's a horrible ordeal, even just to watch. I feel bad for the man's family, and maybe he's 81 years old. He fell a few months back. Maybe he ought to be thinking about that retirement party. Just my opinion, folks. Like, subscribe, and share, Devoted Patriots. Everybody have a great day. Over and out.